Hey there, it's Seb Fry here with another exciting episode of It's a Seb Show. And today I want to ask you how you are dealing with this shelter in place thing. Now, not all of the country is sheltering in place. Certainly, everybody in California is sheltering in place. I guess Oregon, New York, obviously sheltering in place. How are you doing? I've been sheltering in place for 12 days now, which isn't to say that I haven't left my home, of course. I've gone for walks. I've gone to the store a couple of times. But basically, like 99% of the time sheltering in place. But I've been hearing about people who are not sheltering in place, people who are going on vacation, going to rent, villas and stuff like that. People who are going boating with friends, to me, it's a little bit, it makes me sad. It makes me sad. It makes me just kind of like hurt to see that, people aren't all on board with this. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a Twitter account, and I go onto Twitter sometimes, and I see what people are talking about. And one of my favorite places to go on Twitter is the Twitter feed of none other than Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. So, whatever you think of Trump, I must say that his Twitter feed is very entertaining. Not so much what he says, which obviously is just, random train wreck garbage that he just puts out there, but the responses that everybody comes up with. There's people on the left, on the right, on the middle, all kinds of things. But in reading the comments from a lot of these right wing people, I get the impression that they feel this whole coronavirus thing is a hoax. It's a fraud. It's not really happening. Or that maybe it's a bioweapon that the Chinese set off in their own country to somehow impact the United States and turn the election in a particular direction or another. I mean, I don't know. That seems like a pretty wacky, wild out thing, very blunt instrument to achieve any one particular political result in the United States, if you ask me. But now we see that the United States has more than 100,000 coronavirus cases, more than anywhere in the world. And, if you watch the charts, you can see that the deaths in the United States are soon to begin ramping up, right? It only starts with one patient, right? The R naught or whatever they call it, right? The original person. One person has it. And then before you know it, millions of people have it. And even if there's a hospitalization rate of 1% or 5% or whatever it is, I mean, you can see that just based on the scale of the likely infections, there's going to be a crap ton of people in hospitals here in the United States in a few weeks, and there will be a need for a lot of medical staff and personal protective equipment and ventilators and all that stuff, which we don't have. Which is why we're sheltering in place, right? We're trying to slow the spread of the virus to give us time to be able to better deal with it when it comes, so we don't have a situation like there is in Italy right now, which is that they're turning people away from the hospitals because they just can't deal with them. They're basically told to go back and die in their houses. And, 700 people a day are dying in Italy, right? Quite a number. We have many, many more people than Italy does. So we may very well see thousands of deaths a day from coronavirus, right? And so when it comes to people breaking quarantine and going sailing with their buddies or going whatever to rent a house and go on vacation and whatnot, what I got to say is, okay, you think to yourself, well, it's my life. Let me risk it if I want to. I'm not afraid of the coronavirus. I will go out and, if I happen to get it and I die, well, then that's bad on me. Well, here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that, as you know, if you've been following this coronavirus thing at all, you know that many people who get it present no symptoms at all, right? It's a very large percentage of people who will only feel kind of a little bit sick for a day or two, and you won't know the difference between it and a common cold. But you have it, and you're infecting other people. That's a thing that makes it really so unpredictable and kind of frightening, really, is that you could easily get the virus, have no symptoms, and spread the virus, which is what's been happening. It's been happening already. It's been happening for weeks and months as this thing is growing. Lots of people who didn't even know they had it were traveling around freely, right? Like Rand Paul, the asshole senator from Kentucky, right? He knew he was exposed to the coronavirus. He took a test, and while he was waiting for his results, he didn't self-quarantine, and he went and he infected many other people, right? Thanks, Rand Paul. Really great. That's the danger, is that it's not about you. It's about me. It's about us. It's about everybody else. It's about the social contract. It's about being part of a civilized society where we care about what happens to our fellow man. That's what it's all about. So, I understand that you are not worried personally about getting the coronavirus and getting sick and dying. Just think, though, that you very well could get it. I mean, they're saying that 56% of people in California will get it at some point, right? And I guess by extension, 56% of the people in the United States and the world will eventually get it until we get herd immunity, right? So, it's going to happen. So let's just do what we can to limit the spread of the coronavirus while we can. And you do that by sheltering in place. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm doing it yesterday. And it sounds like I'll be doing it for quite some time to come. And I hope you will too, because we all have to do our part to help, prepare ourselves for what very well could be a swamping of our healthcare system in California, like we're seeing in New York and in Italy and many other places throughout the world. So just do me a favor, do your relatives, your friends, your family, your community, your country a favor, and just stick with it, shelter in place, limit your contact as much as you possibly can with everybody, and we'll get through this together, and we can go back onto our merry, happy lives as entitled Americans, not having to worry about this kind of stuff, and let the summer party season hit, and we'll enjoy 4th of July and all that fun stuff that we love to live for. All right, well, that is it for this preachy episode of It's a Seb Show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do me a favor, would you give me a like? Would you give me a thumbs up, a share, a comment would be awesome. And, pass this along to anybody that you know who is outraged about people who are breaking the quarantine. I find it reprehensible, but that's just me. All right. Thank you so much for watching Seb Frey TV. I really appreciate it. And I will have another episode up again before too long.